Well, good afternoon, South Africa, and a very happy Heritage Day right here from the Afternoon Express family. I hope you've been celebrating with your family, friends, and loved ones, and I hope you saved a piece of braai vlees for me on your braais, because I'm coming to get it after the show today at 5 o'clock. As you can see, we've got performers on the show today. Abavuki are here, plus another performance that's going to be standing by for you later on all over the country. We're also joined in the studio today by none other than the beautiful Bonnie Mbuli.
Happy Heritage Day, South Africa, and obviously I hope that you've been invited to a couple of braais. We have, but we can't go because we're here to entertain you. Claire, we're making something quite proudly South African in our kitchen today, aren't we?
Absolutely, indeed. One of my favorites. It's so full of flavor and so steeped in heritage. A Bobotie.
Well, it smells very festive in the kitchen already. And of course, please go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for the full recipe and shopping list. And of course, we love it when you communicate with us throughout the show on at Afternoon Express or Afternoon Chat, #Afternoon Express. Over to Danilo on the couch.
Indeed, one of the biggest parts of our heritage is our music, and our internationally celebrated Cape Townian Afro-fusion band Abavuki just returned from a very successful international tour where they set the European festival circuit on fire in proud South African style. Abavuki means wake up early birds, and the name refers not only to their youth but also to their philosophy of seizing the moment and doing things for themselves. Welcome Abavuki to our loft, guys. It's absolutely epic to have you with us on such a special day. So, as subs, let's first talk about how you guys got together. How did Abavuki form?
It was late 2001. We come from different bands. The guys from the brass, they were in the Langa brass band, and the marimba guys, the percussionists, were in a group called Jika, which was an indigenous music ensemble. Yeah. So we decided that. Let's come together and break the stereotype of that the African instruments cannot play together with the Western instruments. So we sat down and spoke about the music and what kind of sound that we're looking for.
And Afro-fusion was born.
Yeah, and this sound comes from, like, we've snatched everything from like globally, and it celebrates the big giants of African music, people like Fela Kuti, Papa Wemba, Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, and all of them. And we celebrate all the genres. So it's just a cocktail of music, and people relate.
Yeah, and one thing you guys got in common with all of those artists you just mentioned is the fact that you guys have taken your sound overseas and people have just loved you so much when you guys have traveled. You just come back from not only your first, but now your second, and so many more to come international tours. Adila, how was the recent European trip?
I would say fabulous. And it was hectic, but there was a lot of work happening there. But the great part that we did enjoy, they welcomed us with warm hands and with love, and they danced to our music.
Awesome.
And it was fabulous.
The sound you guys have created just makes people want to get up and dance. I know that I'm a white guy and I can't dance to save my life, but I know that when you guys were rehearsing, I was already doing my getting my groove going. So in terms of that sort of scene overseas, how is Afro-fusion being received by the international audiences? Are the Europeans and the Americans loving our sound?
Oh, of course. In Europe, everyone enjoyed our sound, because as I said earlier, that it's not only African music that's inside our music, but we make sure that we have very strong African music aesthetic principles, so that we can relate to Africa as well. Yes. So that people over there can relate to our sound, because you get your jazz in this music, get your blues, some pop.
In there.
Yeah, some house, you know, some Latin American music. Yeah, and we used to do opera as well, like Afro opera. But
so it really is a complete Afro-fusion.
Yeah, it's just as I said, it's just a mixture of genres.
We could probably talk for hours about the genre and sound itself, but there's no better way to explain it than, I think, to perform it. So you guys can get ready into your positions and get ready for your first performance. They're going to be doing a song for us right now on Afternoon Express as we celebrate Heritage Day with you, South Africa. Give us a call, 083-913-3728. Find us on our social media sites. Interact with us. Tell us what you think. Abavuki, take it away, gents. Still incredible performance right here on Afternoon Express. Make sure you guys stay tuned. There's another performance coming up after the break and later on in the show. Plus, Bonnie gets making us an incredible South African dish. It's a Bobotie right here on the Heritage Day edition of Afternoon Express. Make sure you don't go anywhere after this. The Afternoon Express team is going green. Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. until September as we bring you the most innovative trends in sustainable fashion, food, decor and design, as well as handy tips to help you reduce your carbon footprint.
Answer our Go Green question every Tuesday and stand a chance to win a R1,000 Woolies gift card every week.
Plus, simply by entering, you also go into the big draw for the ultimate grand prize worth over R500,000.
Including a dream sustainable kitchen makeover from Cordev, fitted with Bosch appliances with R300,000. Also, up to R250,000 worth of home upgrades so you can live off the grid. Plus, food and homeware from Woolworths valued at R75,000. And a R25,000 towards a school of your choice with My School.
So, go big, go green with Afternoon Express every Tuesday at 4 p.m. to win these amazing prizes.
Woolies and I collaborating to raise 100 million rand through the My School program. Are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here on 3. We're about to get cooking on our Bobotie, so stay tuned, yeah?
I'm already cooking.
I see you.
Cooking up that storm over
What's
here in the
first
kitchen.
step?
So I've just started browning up the onions and the garlic. If you want to pass me over the mince, we're going to get that going as well.
Are there any interesting stories or history around Bobotie? Because it's a very South African dish, right?
So many different ways, for starters, of making Bobotie. And I actually want to just put it a little bit closer and just dump it all. And actually, just toss it all in, it'll be easier. Yeah.
There we go.
There's so many different ways of making Bobotie, and everyone has their recipe. And in all fairness, I love eating Bobotie, and I've eaten it for many, many, many years. But I actually never learned how to cook it until last year. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Crazy. I learned it from this
I can't believe that, because you can cook almost everything.
Yeah, I mean, not that I couldn't cook it, but I've just never really sat and learned how to make a good traditional Bobotie.
Right,
and this beautiful, friendly, so kind lady in the Boerkaap in Cape Town taught me how to make a Bobotie her way.
Well,
so
if there's any way you're going to learn how to cook a Bobotie, it's in the Boerkaap, right?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
So we're just browning up our mince, just crank up the heat a bit, just get that going. While that works, it's little magic. We're going to move over there to the bread.
To the bread.
So you want to soak the bread.
This is normal gewone bread.
Just some white bread.
Okay.
Pop it into the bowl, and you're going to soak that in some milk. This is going to be effectively the glue in our Bobotie. So Bobotie is really a meatloaf of sorts. So you need to kind of bring that all together with the mince later.
How much of this am I adding?
All of it.
Just all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you're going to let soak, pretty much until the mince is done.
Perfect.
So while this is browning, it's coming along nicely, we're going to start adding all of our spices and all the goodness that makes a Bobotie so traditional, so delicious, and so full of flavour.
Okay.
So we've got turmeric, we've got curry powder, we've got chili, and we've got some bay leaves. We're not going to pop all the bay leaves in, probably just 1 or 2, and then you can put all the rest.
I'm glad you did that, because I was going to pop all of them in there.
And then you can put the rest in. If you've got fresh bay leaves, you can use 1 or 2 more, but with the dried ones, they're quite strong. So then add that in there. You want to just cook the spices a little bit to kind of bring out their flavour a little bit, heat them up, and just liven them up again.
I also heard an interesting tip about making curry is that you fry your spices first.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, I'm flicking it all over the place.
No worries.
There's going to be none left for us to eat. Okay, then in for some sweetness. So you get a little bit of sweet and a little bit of sour when it comes to Bobotie.
Okay.
Our raisins and sultanas go in there.
Awesome.
Then chutney.
We love chutney.
I needed to leave a little bit of suspense there for everyone. In goes our good old chutney. You just have to, absolutely have to. And then a little bit of carrots.
Some carrots. A little bit of all of it.
All of it. I like to add the carrots because it adds, again, a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of vegetables. And then this kind of cooks down.
This cooks for a while.
We're going to let it cool, and then we're going to add everything up into it.
Okay. We'll be back in a bit with our recipe, but let's join Jeannie with our next guest.
Joining us in the loft is a man who's realizing his vision of tracing South African history through a series of documentaries from the fight for freedom to the country's growth during democracy and concluding with the vision of the future. 21 Icons is a celebration of individuals who inspire the nation through their impact, integrity and influence. He's a celebrated photographer and documentary filmmaker. Adrian Steirn, welcome to the loft.
Thank you very much, Jenny.
Great to have you here. Now, firstly, I want to get back to the very beginning. What drove you or inspired you to start the 21 Icon series?
I moved to South Africa, and everyone, I'm from Australia originally, everyone would often ask me around the world when I'd travel, why did you move to South Africa? It's, you know, and there was a popular sort of, I think, narrative that South Africa was this war-torn country that was struggling within itself, not a great place to live.
Well, that's what they think in Australia, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's where all your South African expats end up, and that's the story they tell. But, and it was a very different narrative to what I experienced. I experienced some of the most friendly, accommodating people, a really wonderful tapestry, a culture that was absolutely fascinating. And I was also cognizant of the fact that at that time, Nelson Mandela was still with us, and we had based a lot of our narrative around one man. So we wanted to tell the stories of a South African culture that was beyond, that was more robust than just Nelson Mandela. It was all these incredible people. And that's sort of how the whole thing was born.
And of course, season 1 brought us that incredibly iconic photograph of Nelson Mandela holding the mirror. And I think there was quite a funny story to that, where you said you're the only photographer who's shot him standing behind him.
We shot that portrait over Mandela's shoulder. And it was the last portrait of Mandela. Very fortunate to be able to shoot it. And we launched the project in 2013. He was the first icon we launched, and it ran for 21 weeks, and it ran in the Wall Street Journal, the London Times, the Australian, and it sort of reached about 250 million people. But there was nothing revelationary about Mandela. Every story that had been told about Mandela had been told. There's nothing new there. But we also photographed de Klerk, Tutu, Gordimer, Tobias, all these incredible people. And a lot of these people around the world had just not heard of, and they were extraordinary South Africans.
But you also shot them completely out of context to how they would often feel comfortable being shot, de Klerk being an example as well. What is it about the power behind 21 Icons that kind of allows these truly, you know, iconic people to show the world, really, their vulnerable side?
I think there's a sense of togetherness. I mean, once one does it, the next one does it, the next one does it, and it was strength in numbers. And I think every one of those icons that I photographed in the first 2 seasons was very patriotic and had a very strong sense of community. And I think once we got Desmond Tutu with a tutu, we got de Klerk in the lotus position without his shoes on, which was, for me, probably the strongest portrait that I'd shot in season 1. It was the portrait that really turned the series for us. And people start to see these photos, and they wanted their photo to be extraordinary. They wanted to tell a different side of their story. And that's how this whole thing just created momentum. How
is season 2 different?
Season 2 was a group of men and women who were emerging from the struggle. There was a bit of a crossover. You had someone like an Albie Sachs. We shot a fantastic portrait of Albie Sachs. Obviously, he lost his arm holding the South African flag that he was so much a part of creating, the new South African flag. And we had these icons that were sort of quite prevalent during a difficult time in South Africa's history, after the struggle, through and after the struggle. And that, for us, was a very difficult thing to define, because when there's a tangible struggle, when there's a tangible apartheid government to dismantle, you have a common enemy. When you don't, what is our struggle?
Yeah.
And that did move us into season 3, which for me, I have to say, I'm not photographing season 3, but...
Yes, that's interesting for me, because you basically own and created 21 Icons, and now you've moved yourself away from photographing it. Why?
It was a big thing for us that it couldn't just be based around me, the personality, and it was something that was much bigger than one photographer. So a photographer that had worked with me for many years, one of my best friends, we'd travelled around the world together, Gary Van Fake. I can only just say his name now. It's been about 8 years. I just calling him Gary Van Wyk. Van Fake. He's photographing the season 3. It's all in colour, icons under the age of 35. And it's so incredibly cool to watch. These, I mean, because the thing is, there's a lot of people who walk around South Africa saying, oh, you know, where's this country going? What's next? What's happened to our country? And you think like that, then that's where we're going to end up. And to watch these people, Jess Ford, gang rape victim, incredible woman. And she's now running rape clinics around this country. She is so literally proactively positive about South Africa. It sort of takes your breath away. She's that sort of person. And she's just one of these people that is pushing this country forward in 2015. And I think it's very easy to be retrospective. It's, I remember actually the whole thing started, I remember looking at a big book of Muhammad Ali and sitting there and looking at it. I was living in Buckoven at the time, and I thought, gee, that was the time to be a photographer, you know? There's Ali, there's Sinatra, there's all these incredible people. And then I thought to myself, you know, I'm living in a country with Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Nadine Gordimer, all these wonderful people, and there's an aspect of their lives that hasn't been celebrated. And that's how this whole thing started. And we didn't really know what we were doing. And sort of 6, 7 years on, we now know what we're doing. And it's gone everywhere, and it's been a great project. And to watch season 3 unfold has been amazing.
Wow. Do you think that you'll ever take the entire 21 Icons project and go global with it? I mean, to go and shoot international icons? Yeah,
absolutely. We've had discussions. I've been fortunate enough to photograph Bill Gates and Bono and a lot of these guys. And all of those guys are very, very interested in the project. We are going to be shooting UK icons next year, which will be very cool. Australia.
That must have been a struggle to find any.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. So David Attenborough and a couple of blokes. I think what is fascinating is that we live in a global community, and with the internet, I think it is now more than ever so important that we understand who are Iran's incredible people, who are China's most amazing individuals.
Absolutely.
Just to understand, we say that we're global, we say that we are multicultural, but I think there are so many things that we don't truly understand. And even within our own community, to look around and see some of the names that are coming up in this Icons project here in South Africa. I've lived here for 9 years, and to see them for the first time and to hear their story for the first time, you think I think sometimes as well the news does not quite give us the best picture of where we live. Bad news sells. Good news is more difficult to tell.
Well, Adrian, you certainly do remarkable work. Thank you so much for 21 Icons celebrating this Heritage Day. Thank you very, very much for chatting to us today.
Thanks very much.
Now catch 21 Icons Season 3 this Sunday, the 27th of September on SABC3 at 7:27, where the acclaimed short-form series 21 Icons will feature the 4th icon of its 3rd season, Paralympian wheelchair tennis player and South African top quadriplegic wheelchair tennis champion, Lucas Sithole.
Fresh Pack. Goodness comes naturally.
Welcome back to your favorite kitchen on Afternoon Express on SABC3. We're about to finish off our yummy bobotie, right? Okay, cool.
Indeed. So we've let the mince cool down just a little bit because we're going to be adding all the eggs and whatnot now, so you don't want the eggs to curdle. Right. So that's cooled down just a little bit. We've got our bread that's soaked. I'm just going to squeeze this out. Well,
so we're going to like...
Yeah, you don't want excess liquid in there, so just squeeze it out.
Okay.
With my beautifully clean hands.
And can you use any type of bread?
Yeah, but I mean, traditionally it's white bread. Yeah.
Traditionally, okay.
You don't want to use like a whole grain bread because it's going to change the texture quite considerably of your bobotie. I'm sure people do. It probably tastes amazing, but it's just going to change the texture. So just squeeze that out. Right. I'm going to give my hands a little bit of a wipe over here. And then we're going to add in the eggs. So just kind of break them up slightly.
Of a whisk. Okay.
And then they're going to go into the bread. Well, I'll do this. Do you want to do the topping over there?
Topping.
So we've got cream. Beautiful creamy topping is what we're looking for.
Am I adding all of this cream?
Yes, indeed, into the jug. And then goes 2 more eggs on top. So you're looking for almost, it's like a custard that goes on top, really.
There's a lot of egg in here.
Just mix this up. Really what I'm doing here is just to distribute this evenly so that when you mix it into your mince, it's all nice and evenly mixed up.
Right.
So just get some elbow grease into it and just mix it up there.
Okay, so I'm just whisking this until it's a fine consistency.
You're just, also looking for a custard, just to mix the eggs in evenly so the yolks are all distributed, and we're going to pour that over the top.
Okay,
so that is mixed up, and this goes into our mince mixture. This is like what I said is going to be that almost glue that kind of creates the bobotie and turns it into a sort of a meatloaf texture. Mix this evenly in, and then this is going to go into our container.
And I'm sure most of our viewers are huddled around a braai and enjoying braai meat, but this is definitely a keeper. So go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for the full recipe. Okay.
And I have to say, like, after living overseas for so many years in Hong Kong, being able to be in South Africa on Heritage Day, making a bobotie, so cool. It's so,
awesome,
so cool. So just...
There's definitely so much to celebrate about heritage.
Lots of people to feed in the loft today.
Yes,
That goes in there. So just even it out onto the base here, and then on goes our topping.
Quite creamy.
Thank you
I think
kindly,
I've done a great job of that, if I say so myself.
So just even that out on top, and then just pours right over the top here. And then this is going to go into the oven at about 160 degrees for about 45 minutes, 35, 45 minutes.
Do we need any more of these?
Yes, so a few sprinkled on top.
On the top, okay.
About 35, 45 minutes until it gets golden, and you wriggle it, and it's set. So all the egg and everything all set up, and it's going to be so tasty.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Thank you, Claire. Let's join Danila on the couch. He's talking men's skincare.
Indeed. Now, men are forever complaining that women take hours to get ready, and they do. But these days, it's not just women who take their time in front of the mirror, it's men too. Yeah, we know all about it. In today's Getting Under Your Skin segment, we get a front row seat to see just how comedian and actor Sept takes care of his skin. Take a look.
You know, my name's Sept. You know, I swim. Yes, you look very shocked. Yes, a black guy who can swim. Please, believe it or not, eh? You know, it took me years of swimming lessons to learn not to get out the pool like a black person. Like, why do all black people get out the water like this? Why do they do that? I think something South Africa doesn't know about me, which I think will shock them, is that I'm actually a loner. I'm a social loner. Like, I can be loud, out there, in your face, but I actually prefer being alone. I prefer my company to anyone else's company. I'm obsessed with musicals, absolutely obsessed with musicals. I traveled the world with Les Miserables, which is one of my favorite musicals of all time. Traveled the world at about 10, performed at Nelson Mandela's birthday party. And man, I'm gonna change the world. Like, hands down, I will change the world, and I think I'll be remembered for changing lives than making people laugh. There's a saying that I like saying, I want to make giving back as cool as the other side of the pillow. Like, you know when you're sleeping, you sleep on the pillow, and it gets warm and you turn it over and it feels cool. I want to make giving back that cool. No, I grew up in Pylons. Yeah, Pylons, yeah, raw. You know, but in living in Pylons, I learned something very interesting, because white kids are driven. White kids are driven. White kids are driven. While we black kids, we have to walk to school. White kids have been driven in four-wheel bloody drives. The difficulties about being a performer is, as a comic, you jump onto the stage, you read the audience. Not every audience will receive your jokes the same way. It's the same as walking into a room and there's 5 ladies and you're trying to pick up one of them. The same pickup line will not work with all of them. I wash my skin twice a day with the products, and I moisturize. Many men don't moisturize. They just use hand, body lotion. No, not in this space. So it's pretty amazing. Keeps my skin nice and fresh. I have to be honest, I'm dark and lovely, so that sun doesn't touch me. I'm obsessed with Dermalogica. They're definitely the mecca of skincare. They're pretty awesome, clean cut and effective and straight to the point, which I think that's my personality. A lot of people who are not black African males will not know how it is to take care of our skin, because we have very coarse, thick, curly hair, which is just a nightmare. So if it wasn't for their shaving range, I don't know what I would do. Because the thing that happens with our skin is that we shave, we don't do clean cut. If you do clean cut, skin grows, and the hairs go. So if it wasn't for those products, my skin would look like this. And exfoliate, I use there's little powder things that exfoliate as well. And man, it's a dream. Yeah, you guys have been amazing. Thank you very much.
No, you've been amazing, Sept, right here on our Under the Skin segment. And joining us on the couch today is Anique Herbert. Anique, welcome to our loft.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. So Anique, obviously what Sept did mention was with African skin typically the hair is a lot curlier and darker, and he was saying that what your guys' products have done has really helped him to get sort of that shave clean without it getting underneath his skin. So tell us more about how we can control that sort of effect.
Well, absolutely. We know that ingrown hairs and razor bumps can occur in about 60% of African male skins, and also men with curly hair. And what we can do is, we know that the hair, as it's growing out, it actually inverts back into the follicle, causing irritation and inflammation. Now, we can't really do much about having curly hairs. That's a genetic factor. But what we can do is we can assist in preparing and treating the skin before and after shaving.
Okay, cool. Amazing. So what are your products doing for men, though? Because, you know, a lot of men are starting to get into this routine of looking after themselves. What exactly do you guys cater for when it comes to men's facial products?
Well, I think what's really important with male skincare is that it's easy to use. So we do have a shave segmentation, which is a 3-step, easy-to-use a regimen of products that are going to help with your pre-shaving, while you are shaving, and then, of course, post-shaving, to really help prepare the skin for shaving, but also to soothe, calm, and help to just repair that skin after shaving as well.
Sure. So it sounds like we're moving into a generation of metrosexuals, which everyone's known has become the new big thing. I can already see between my dad's generation and mine, he is overwhelmed by the fact that I use like a face wash or a cleanser or something like that. Why are we starting to see men nowadays looking after themselves a lot more than they used to? And is it something that's healthy?
Absolutely. I think that men are getting a lot more comfortable in talking about their skin concerns. We've seen a very, very steady and constant growth in the male grooming industry. And the global industry analysts has actually forecast that the male grooming industry will generate about $33 billion in revenue in 2015 alone. So the male consumer of today is a lot more savvier. He's also not just concerned with overall body health, but he wants to have a good skin that's also healthy.
It's not about looking like feminine or perfectly trimmed. It's about just making sure that your skin is healthy. It doesn't dry out and feel itchy and scratchy and all those things. So it's not necessarily painting on your eyebrows. It's more than that, I think, in many ways. One thing I have to ask while I've got you in the loft with us today. You know, I also take pride in looking after my skin when I can. But whenever I walk into a store to try and buy some products, I'm always buying an exfoliator and then a different face wash and then, you know, a different face cream. How do we know how to combine the right ingredients and the right treatments together to give you perfect skin? Because I never actually know what to do, to be honest.
Well, the best thing is to also go to see a professional skincare therapist that can also have a look at your skin and recommend a routine for you.
Okay.
But I would definitely recommend, you know, starting with a cleanser that is soap-free and non-drying on the skin to cleanse the skin and to remove all of those oils and impurities. What's very important is also to exfoliate your skin to help remove dull, dead skin cells and also to help lift the hair before shaving. Then you can also choose between either a gel or a cream as your shave medium, and that's going to protect the skin from the blade. And what's very important to use an alcohol-free, like a post-shave therapeutic balm that's going to really soothe and help calm that redness after shaving. And very important, you have to use a moisturizer that contains a broad spectrum SPF to protect your skin.
Sure. Anik, you haven't even mentioned face wash. I think that's a good thing. So it's cleansing, exfoliating, use a gel while you shave, and then make sure you moisturize afterwards. And you provide all of those products courtesy of Dermalogic, which we love. Anik, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Well, there you have it, South Africa. For all you men out there looking for that clean finish, or ladies, if your man needs a little bit of smoothing out, then I think we've just found the perfect solution for you. After the break, we chat to the cultural dance group Die Nuwe Graskoue Trappers about representing our country in America. We'll be right back.
The #1 choice of skincare professionals worldwide.
Welcome back, South Africa, as we celebrate Heritage Day right here on Afternoon Express. Now, if you remember, earlier in July, we did an insert on a cultural dance group from a small Western Cape town of Bobotie called Die Nuwe Graskoue Trappers. Well, just before that, obviously, they went off to compete at the World Championships of Performing Arts in California. At that time, they were still looking to raise the last bit of money to make the trip. We're very proud to say that they are not only raised enough money to get to California, but they also walked away with 13 medals. On Heritage Day, we are so proud to have in our loft Die Nuwe Graskoue Trappers. Guys, welcome finally to our loft. It's really good to have all of you with us today. Incredible performers. Let's first talk about your trip, Reinu, to California. How was the whole performance, winning 13 medals?
Voor ons gegaan het ons het baie hard gewerk. Ons het vir ons doelwitte gesteel. En ons het onsself oortref deurdat ons 4 goud, 7 silwer, 1 brons, 2 trofees en 3 van ons dansers het scholarships gekry.
Mooi.
Ons is baie excited daaroor.
And obviously performing one of the oldest and most traditional dance styles in the country, and obviously in the Western Cape. How was that received by the Americans? Do you want to try answer? Go for it, Rainer.
In 2006 het die ATKV die riel geherleef. En hulle het met 'n projek begin wat nou op been is. 2012 het die Boesmanskloof uitgereik na die omliggende plaas van Wuppertal. En 'n dansgroep is gestig wat onder leiding is deur Frode Smit.
Well, we are very, very proud of you guys for all the work that you have been doing. Waar het dit gevoel as julle was daar?
Ons was baie excited geweest in Amerika. En ons het dinge gesien wat ons nooit in die karrière gesien het. En dit is verskil van Suid-Afrika se baie in Amerika is en hy goed het verkeerd gereis, ek maar sê.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're very, very proud of the work that you guys have been doing and very proud of all the achievements that you got. So you'll be performing later on in the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It should be absolutely epic. So thank you for joining us and congratulations on all the awards that you guys have won. And you've really done South Africa proud. We're very, very proud of you. Small town in the Western Cape. Who knew? Now, what do a ballerina and a cup of tea have in common? We went behind the scenes at the shoot of a new 5 Roses TV ad to find out how these two art forms come together. Take a look. The superior blend of Ceylon tea ensures 5 Roses' uniquely smooth taste and golden color, trusted and loved by many. The ad draws a parallel between the hard work and commitment to excellence that 5 Roses puts into making the perfect cup of tea and the commitment to excellence that goes into being a ballerina.
I think the link comes through, firstly, luxury and beauty. You know, there's a lot of beauty in being a ballerina or in the dance of ballet. And also there's a lot of excellence in terms of the craft of it.
What I find so beautiful about classical ballet is that we strive for perfection every day and we come back for more every day. And I love the challenge. So that's the beauty about ballet and that's what I love about being a classical ballerina.
The beautiful and talented Kitty Petler is the classically trained ballerina who stars in the new 5 Roses TV ad. Kitty rose from humble beginnings to perform on both local and international stages. She's choreographed several works as well as danced leading roles in ballets, most memorably The Dying Swan.
My journey has been very beautiful, bittersweet, very interesting, lively, but also very empowering as well. So, you know, I started off as a girl from the townships and I had to choose between karate and ballet. And a man by the name of Martin Schomburg discovered me, never looked back ever since then. And currently now with one of the greatest ballet companies, Joburg Ballet.
The reason why we chose Kitty, and I mean there's more than one reason, is firstly she's really, really beautiful. She's also crafted and perfected her craft to such a point, and that really comes across in the way she conducts herself and in her performance, and I think that comes through, and we really wanted that story in our commercial.
Seeing Kitty dance, it's easy to be swept away in the notion that she's something magical, but her success is hard-earned.
I would say there's 2 things, you know, it's discipline and having a vision for my career, for myself, and the self-respect that you need in order to be a ballerina. So without discipline, I wouldn't be here today.
The 5 Roses ethos is beautifully conveyed through the ballerina's strive for excellence, always giving her best, because nobody makes better tea than you and 5 Roses.
Us women are hard on our feet. We squeeze them into high heels despite the pain. We run around all day and we dance all night. But getting rid of the hard skin that builds up as a consequence of our active lives is easy thanks to Scholl Velvet Smooth Electronic Foot File. Because we know smooth feet are an essential this summer, we've been sharing our footsie tips every day to get you looking gorgeous from head to toe this summer. And today's guest knows everything about looking gorgeous. She's actress and dancer Chanel Herlin. Welcome, Chanel.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, I'm already like distracted by your toes. They look gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I had to get them looking all nice, especially for today, I guess, as well.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And with summer around the corner, what are your top tips for summer-ready feet?
Okay, well, for just in general health, I like to, in the week, eat well, then treat myself on the weekends. I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And I'm also train a lot. So being a dancer, I'm active all the time. I do boxing, I do Pilates. So my feet do take a lot of strain. So with regards to pampering, just for your general body, your general being, I always find that an Epsom salts bath completely relaxes all your muscles, including your feet.
I do that a lot as well.
So 2 days ago, I had a 2-hour dance audition. The next day, I was absolutely finished. And I should have taken my own advice.
2-hour dance audition?
2-hour dance
audition for 2 hours? That's so insane.
Yeah, it was insane. We did like 3 routines and I was absolutely finished. So I should have taken my own advice and done an Epsom salt bath. But that literally just relaxes all your muscles. So the next day, you're not as stiff. But speaking specifically of feet, beforehand, it's very important to warm up your feet. So not to go just straight into exercise, because if you're not necessarily doing dance, you're doing maybe a fitness class or something like that, even cycling, you forget that your feet are actually involved in everything that you do. So people forget to warm up their feet. So beforehand, I always say warm up those feet, but I've got some props here. I'll show you some exercises a little bit later.
And the reason why you've got props is because we can't let you go without showing me a routine.
Exactly.
You are a dancer after all. And for this, I'm going to have to take off my shoes, right?
Yes, I want you to do some with me. I've got a towel here, a TheraBand, and a ball. But we'll get to those in a bit. So starting off with your feet.
Please don't, no close-ups on my feet, please.
Well, because I have dancer's feet, I always make sure that at least my toes look nice. So I get gel toes done because at least with dancing and stuff, it doesn't scrape off the paint. It's always like
quite long.
Yeah, and it lasts long. And then exfoliating for sure is a big thing because dancers can get hard feet, especially if you're doing point work, even tappers. I'm also a tapper. Get blisters and you get sores, and I often dance barefoot, so it's always bleeding, and you know, you've got to keep your feet intact.
Is there ointment that you use on it?
Maybe a bit of arnica, but mercurochrome is also a good one that I use, but just to always keep your feet clean as well for bacteria, and just really make sure that your feet are ready then for the next day.
Okay.
So let's do some exercises.
Yes,
how's that?
Do some exercise. I'm ready.
Starting off, just if you want to do some sitting down exercises, it's going to feel weird, but you must actually take your foot and full on push it around. So you're really working in that ankle. You can do it about 20 times, and you can really start feeling that burn. And then also going the other way.
Anti-clockwise.
Yeah,
I can imagine this really works if you've had an ankle injury in the past as well, so that the muscles don't stiffen around that area.
Exactly. Now, talking about the toes, we don't often like touch our toes and move them around. So not only focusing on the top part of your foot, also in the toes to even like pinch the ends of it to get the blood flowing, get it warmed up for whatever exercise you're doing.
It feels cool.
It feels cool, but it's also a bit of a weird feeling to even then separate the toes.
In heels.
Exactly. This is perfect for you, because you forget that your toes take a lot of strain as well, especially in the heels. Then this will also be nice wearing heels, is to push those toes back. It's also a bit of an arm workout, I guess, you know, pushing the toes. And pulling it forward, so you're really stretching these front muscles as well, and then back again. So those you can obviously then do on the other foot as well.
Same.
Even if you do it when you get out of bed in the morning, it's nice to get your feet feeling fresh for the day ahead. Standing up.
What do we do with our towels?
Standing up with our towels. Here we go.
Right.
So this one here, you're just going to put it out on the floor. You're going to put your toes on the edge of it. And you're going to just use your toes. So this is a bit of a toe strength, is to pull the towel all the way back. It's a bit tricky. It's good for ballet dancers, anything with your feet. So you pull it all the way back.
It's fun too.
Yeah, it's quite fun as well. To then push it out again. So this is working
push it out.
Mainly your toes. It's a bit hard. You know, do this a few times and your feet will be exhausted.
I am. My muscles are tingly. Okay, cool.
Now, you can also do exercises with your toes to pick up, let's say, a marble or a pencil or something like that. But it's actually quite a controversial exercise depending on your teacher, because when you point your foot, plantar flexion, the correct word as a dancer,
I did ballet for many years, so I remember this.
You remember that. Yeah. People often forget that when pointing your foot, it's not a crunch of the toes. It's an elongating of the foot and the toes. So when you then go to picking things up, you don't want to crunch your toes. You want to still think of that point. So if you have a look here at my foot, let's just pretend there was a pencil or something. To pick up, you've got to think of lengthening and almost getting that arch here, that curve there, instead of crunching. Because that's not doing anything. You've got to think of bringing it up and... You see, getting that curve. You can actually, if you're not used to do it, you can feel like it's got a cramp at some point.
Yes,
and that's good. You're doing it right.
That nervous feeling in the art. Okay, cool.
Do you want to do another one? With this interesting object?
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for, but I can't wait to see your next exercise. I'll do it during the break. From fancy footwork to an utterly fabulous vacation that we're giving away here on Afternoon Express, don't miss the chance to win the ultimate summer holiday to Reunion Island for an entire week. This is what you need to do. First, make sure your feet are ready for that moment in the spotlight with the Scholl Velvet Smooth electronic foot file. Then snap a footsie. That's a selfie of your feet looking velvet smooth, and enter via Twitter or Facebook using the hashtags #footsie, #Afternoon Express. Winning that island holiday of your dreams couldn't be easier. T's and C's apply, so please visit the Afternoon Express website for details. Take a look.
From wild nature to clear blue lagoons, Reunion Island offers the traveller a unique adventure, exploring a diversity of landscapes and cultures in one exceptional environment. Classified as a World Heritage Site, Reunion Island's stunning landscape allows you to travel from a volcanic desert into a tropical forest, all in a day. Enjoying the harmony of the island, you can experience a variety of cultures and tastes, from Asian cuisine to Creole markets. Reunion is paradise found. To enter, take a snap of your feet looking velvet smooth and enter via Twitter or Facebook using the hashtags Footsie and Afternoon Express.
Scholl Velvet Smooth electronic foot file. Perfectly smooth skin after one use.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, it's not only Heritage Day today, so we'd also like to wish all of our Muslim viewers Eid Mubarak. We hope that you guys all are enjoying your day so far with your family and your friends and celebrating with us right here on SABC3. One of the ways you can do that tonight is making sure that you catch Top Billing. It's happening this evening at 7:30 right here on SABC3. Jonathan is in Ghana and he visits a traditional fabric and textile factory to learn what goes into making unique African garments. Also, Roxy meets up with award-winning hip-hop artist Casper Nyovest. They go paintballing and he gives some insight into what to expect from his brand new album. She also spends a day with fashion blogger Lumala Wolf Mlambo. She also learns all about how her unique style and where she finds her inspiration. And if you are going to tune into the show tomorrow, I guess you better do so because it is happening all tomorrow. #First15 because in the first 15 minutes of our show, we got absolutely hilarious Alan Committee joining us in the loft. And in the kitchen, we are making fresh summer berry semifredo. It should be absolutely delicious. But it wouldn't be a Heritage Day right here on Afternoon Express unless we had a mix of cultures and performances. Die Nuwe Graskoue Trappers as well as our guys from Abavuki perform live. Take it away, guys. South African comedian Alan Committee, and we take a look at the upcoming South African drama Necktie Youth.
Another feel-good production.